Hi and welcome to Vintage Doll Collector. Today I want to share with you a series of First Lady dolls produced by Madame Alexander to coincide with America's bicentennial. The Alexander Doll Company issued 6 series of 14-inch First Lady dolls, beginning in 1976 and ending in 1990, depicting the wives of the U.S. presidents. The first series, available from 1976 through 1978, included Martha Washington, Abigail Adams, Martha Randolph, Dolley Madison, Elizabeth Monroe, and Louisa Adams. The dolls are not portraits of the actual women, and Madame Alexander used creative license in selecting the hair and eye colors of the dolls. They're made of rigid vinyl, with rooted hair and sleep eyes with brush lashes. They're jointed at the neck, shoulders, and hips, and wear beautifully made outfits. In addition to the outfit pieces described, each doll wears white stockings. Martha Dandridge Custis Washington was the wife of George Washington, America's first president. She was a young widow with 2 toddlers when she married Washington in 1759. Although the doll has light blonde hair, the real Martha was a brunette. She is remembered today as a warm and gracious hostess who treasured her privacy. Martha Washington wears a silver and taupe brocade gown trimmed with champagne lace and ivory braid, with an attached lace stole and a lace mob cap. Her white cotton and net petticoat and pantalettes are trimmed with pink satin ribbon and white lace. She carries a brown velveteen bag adorned with an ivory lace motif. Pink satin shoes and a graduated pearl necklace complete her ensemble. Abigail Smith Adams, wife of John Adams, got her feet wet by being the vice president's wife, now sometimes called second lady, before becoming first lady when her husband was elected president. In 1825, she also became the mother of a president when her son John Quincy Adams was elected. Her admonition to her husband to remember the ladies as he worked with the Continental Congress to build a new nation is still quoted today. Abigail Adams wears a long-sleeved royal blue satin gown with a delicate leaf print, with white lace at the cuffs. Her white lace shawl is attached at the neckline and held in place with a rhinestone pin at her bodice. Her white cotton and net petticoat and pantalettes are trimmed in white lace and pale blue satin ribbon. She wears a blue velvet ribbon in her hair and black velveteen shoes. A graduated pearl necklace provides a finishing touch. Martha Jefferson Randolph was the daughter of the 3rd American president, Thomas Jefferson. She acted as his occasional hostess due to the death of her mother several years before. She and her husband had 12 children. Her son James was the first child born in the White House in 1806. Known as Patsy to her family, Martha took devoted care of her father in his declining years. Martha Randolph wears a short-sleeved pale pink taffeta gown with an ivory lace panel down the front. Her pink taffeta petticoat and pantalettes are trimmed with pink satin ribbon and white lace. She wears a pink organdy wrap around her head and a long black cape trimmed in fancy brocade ribbon. A graduated pearl necklace and pink satin shoes complete her outfit. Dolley Payne Todd Madison was the wife of America's 4th president, James Madison. She was the first lady to embrace a public role and helped to found a home for young orphan girls. When the British burned Washington during the War of 1812, she refused to evacuate the White House until Gilbert Stuart's portrait of George Washington was removed from the wall and secured. Dolley Madison wears a sleeveless champagne satin dress flocked with silver glitter in a floral pattern and decorated with champagne and silver metallic braid. She wears a matching long coat and an ivory organdy head wrap. Her white cotton petticoat and pantalettes are trimmed with white lace and pink satin ribbon. Champagne satin shoes provide the finishing touch. Elizabeth Courtwright Monroe was only 17 years old when she married the future 5th President of the United States, James Monroe. Due to her frail health, her oldest daughter often assumed the duties of hostess at the White House. Elizabeth Monroe wears a long-sleeved gold and pink satin brocade gown, trimmed in satin ribbon and lace. Her white cotton and net petticoat and pantalettes are trimmed with white satin ribbon and lace. A lace shawl attached to a long brocade panel at her back is held in place with a gold-toned bow pin at her waist. She wears a rhinestone tiara and a rhinestone pendant necklace on a gold-toned chain. Champagne-colored satin shoes complete her ensemble. Louisa Catherine Johnson Adams, wife of John Quincy Adams, was born in England to a British mother and American father. She wrote music and poetry and played the harp. She followed her husband in his diplomatic travels around the world, once crossing Europe by coach in the winter to join him. Louisa Adams wears a short-sleeved white satin gown decorated with white and silver metallic braid and ruched bands of tulle. Her white taffeta and net petticoat and pantalettes are decorated with gathered white lace. She wears a graduated pearl necklace and a cluster of rosebuds in her hair. Each doll's gown was tagged First Ladies with her name. They also came with a little booklet wrist tag with color photos and descriptions of all 6 dolls. This series has been described as having 2 different face molds, the Mary Ann face, shown here on the Abigail Adams and Elizabeth Monroe dolls, and what's sometimes called the Martha face mold, shown here on Louisa Adams and Martha Randolph. The Martha mold appears to be the 1960s Elise mold, but in a smaller size. Elise is a 17-inch doll. What appears to me to be a 3rd mold is this one, shown on Martha Washington and Dolley Madison. This appears to be a slightly larger version of the Nancy Drew face that Alexander used a lot of in the 1970s. Nancy Drew is a 12-inch doll. Here, I'll show you the 3 different faces. What do you think? Are there 3 or just 2? Thanks for joining me today for a look at this First Ladies series by Alexander. I'm also doing a blog post version of this video, so if you want to get a closer look at the photos, visit my website at vintagedollcollector.com. And if you'd like to be notified when I have new videos posted, click on the subscribe button and the little bell icon. See you next time.